Hey, it's JJ. How are we doing? You just have to excuse me. Why not? Because no good story ever started with a pint of milk. How are we all doing? I hope you're all well. It's been a little while since I've done like a proper sort of video upload. Just been really busy. It's been a month since the bushcraft show. The light's not particularly great in here today. It's about 8:30 in the evening, and I've got a real lot of direct sunlight sort of coming through from over there, and it's just kind of giving a really funny light. If you excuse me as an airplane goes over off to Luton Airport. But yeah, it's been a month since the bushcraft show, and I always have a good couple of weeks out after the show. I normally put up a video. I did put up a video the other week when I was just like an English madman out in a pissing rain, in a poncho using a rough timber Cardinal spirit stove. But I haven't really done much since then, and I'll tell you why. The bushcraft show leaves me absolutely drained. It's a job that I absolutely love as my role of the Master of Ceremonies, but I am absolutely knackered afterwards. I have a couple of days of recovery, and then I go straight back into work, and work has been relentless, but pays the bills. I love my job. It's just been really busy, but we've also had a lot going on. As soon as we come back from the bushcraft show, unfortunately, my partner Jane and myself, we took a really tough, difficult decision to have Jane's horse Rosie laid to rest, put down. She was really unwell, and the prognosis for going forward was not great. So it was with a real heavy heart that we took the decision to end her suffering. I've had dogs in the past, I've had cats in the past, and I've lost those as pets and part of our family as well. But a horse is something different. You know, you're talking 500 kilos of animal to be put down, and that's something that I will never ever forget. It's kind of left us in limbo. It's really left us in limbo. It's a huge part of our life that is gone. We won't be getting another horse. We're at that sort of stage of our lives where we just can't commit to having another horse. It's huge. It was heartbreaking. It was gut wrenching, and everything that you can imagine of a stature of Rosie's size as a Irish hunter, and we miss her dreadfully. It's not been easy. It's kind of stopped us doing things for a while, but also something else has been going on, something extremely exciting. We're getting married. We are getting married in a couple of weeks' time, and I can't wait. We are, after this weekend, 2 weekends away from getting married. We cannot wait. We're going to have a registry office wedding on a Friday with our immediate family and closest friends. And then on a Saturday, we are very fortunate enough to be doing an outdoor themed ceremony with a lot of our other friends up on Jane's niece's small holding. They've got a plot of land. We're going to have a huge teepee, very similar to the ones that you find at the bushcraft show, but just on a slightly smaller scale. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an outdoor themed wedding, green, cream, brown, flowers, everything. And I've got stuff that I need to be doing for that, and that's been keeping me busy. And that's what I am currently doing at the moment. I'm getting stuff ready. I have been doing projects that's going to be used in camping trips and that going forwards, but primarily aimed around the wedding. And this is why I love the Bush Shack Shed. It gives me the opportunity to come in here and work on little projects. The other weekend I renovated this, which was an old sledgehammer. that I'm going to use more often than the current little mallet hammer that I was using to knock these poles in with. Some of you might have seen at the bushcraft show I had two big windbreaks like this. You know the windbreaks that you normally see on beaches in the 70s and the 80s with the striped patterns and that. Well, I've got a couple of canvas ones which are made by a company called Southwesterly. Excuse me. And I've got two of these. I've used them on a camp with rough timber, and I used them at the bushcraft show around the truck. It gives us a nice little seating area, but I need work doing on these. As you can see from the top of these poles, the staffs that you knock into the ground, they're untreated. They're just really light colour, and I want to kind of weatherproof them but also make them look a lot better. I'm just going to show you. I've got this one here. I'm just going to turn you around and take you outside. What I've also got to go with these is a couple of the Southwesterly deck chairs, which are in canvas as well. So I'm just going to get up. I'm going to switch you around. So yeah, I've got a couple of the canvas deck chairs there, which are going to be used as part of our setup on our wedding ceremony. But this is the other one that's outside. I've taken the poles out from the canvas material and I've laid them out, and also you can see the colour, they're just untreated. These have been used a couple of times, and what I actually want to do is I want to wipe all these down. I want to get all the mud that's off of those, and then what I'm actually going to do is treat these. Once the mud is actually washed off, I'm going to black these out up to about here, and then the rest from this point up to the end is going to be blacked out. Sorry, not black at the bottom, and then the orangey sort of colour that I like to use for my stuff. So I'm just going to turn you around. I'll show you what the colour kind of looks like. So this is a box that I made and renovated last year. It's where I keep one of my lantern and spirit stuff in. So it's going to be sort of very similar sort of scheme to this. It's going to be black on the bottom like this, which I did down here, and then I'm going to use this colour to do the poles on there, which I think is going to look pretty cool. So I'm just going to pop you down. So yeah, so that's one of the projects. I want to actually get these done, so it kind of look like, it'll look like that, really. That's what it'll look like. That's what the poles are going to look like. Using this mallet to drive those poles into hard ground was not easy. This old sledgehammer was my stepdad's. It was left to me. It's been sat in the garage in a shed and I'd forgotten about it. And I just decided, with the help of my dad who sanded it all down, we've turned it into something that's been upcycled, restored, renovated. And this has got £7 sledgehammer, gets those into the ground a lot easy. So that's what we're going to be doing. Sort of behind me at the moment, I've got a load of teasels that have sort of come down by the side of a hedgerow that I've taken. I've got all these teasels. I've got a big bunch of pine cones, loads of pine cones that we're going to use to make a big table decoration out of on the tables that we're going to have at the marquee. What I also want to be doing is renovating this chair. I'm not going to fold this out, it'd take too much time. This is a British Army Land Rover chair that I picked up for a really good price at the bushcraft show, but the arms and that are all sort of knackered, worn. The lacquer and that is coming off as well. So I'm going to be taking in due course the handles off of this, rubbing these down and getting those done. Also what I've got and I want to be using, we all recognise these. Used to see these at the side of roads and on building sites. You know, rebar. What I'm going to do with these rebars is I'm just going to give them a bit of a wire wool sort of brush down. They're untreated, they're just kind of like wrought iron, but I'm also going to use a little bit of hammerite metal paint to put these, spray these up and put them into a dark green. And what I want to be using these for is when I'm at camps, and they're going to be used at the wedding again as well, is to, excuse my burp, it's literally just to hold up the lanterns, put them in the ground, really, really solid once they're knocked into the ground. So I've got quite a few projects and that going on at the moment, and everything that I'm going to be renovating, restoring, is going to be used not only at the wedding but also on future camping trips, because I'm kind of in the mind and the market for getting a tent that's more specific and suited for truck camping for my pickup truck. And I've kind of messaged a friend who's got something up for sale, and he said, look, if it's still available after the wedding, we're going to do a deal on it, paying a couple of installments, because as you can imagine, weddings are extremely expensive and you can't just go splashing out loads of money. And that is, I'm hopefully going to get myself an Oz tent, the RV3, which would be perfect for my needs. It'll be fantastic for the truck camping, for a lot of trips that myself and my partner, soon to be wife, will hopefully be going on in the future. It'll be perfect for our needs, and with the windbreaks, put those to the side of it as well, it's really going to give us a really good camping experience with the Oz tent off to the side of the pickup truck. But using these, using the rebar for hanging lanterns on, the deck chairs, and also the old British Army Land Rover chair, it's going to be a lot more comfortable and a lot more fitting for what I want. So this is why we come to the shed. It actually gives us a lot to do. So without further ado, I'm going to sort of crack on over the next couple of days, and I will show you some of the segments that I'm doing, and hopefully after about another week that we'll come back in, all these little elements should hopefully be finished. So we're going to postpone this for now. We'll come back in and show you a couple of segments, and we'll have some shed time. Catch you in a bit. Catch you later. See you on the next instalment, which will actually still be part of this video, if you know what I mean. We'll catch you in a bit. Shed time. So these are the metal rebars that I was talking about, which I've actually brought into work rather than stinking my own garden out and putting spray paint everywhere. This is a dump pile at the back of work. So we are just giving these a couple of coats of the old hammerite. The wind's blowing in the wrong direction. These are going to come out really, really, really nice. I'll show you when they're finished. So it's a week later, and we're back in the shed. I did a fair few bits on the last segment of the video, but straight back into work last week. Manic week, real hot and that again. But we're back in the shed. We're painting up the pole staves that go in the canvas windbreaks. And this is a lovely colour. It's a really lovely colour. I've already done some cat hair floating about, sorry. Cats always come and hide in here. I've already done 4 of them. I'm working my way onto my 5th. And yeah, I'm going to be really, really pleased with how these come out once they're dried. I'm just doing the top section for now. I've masked off the bottom, for which I'm going to black out, because that's how I want them to look, because it kind of matches other stuff that I've also done that I've talked to you about. But we're just carefully applying a coat and working down straight continuous lines, and then just going back over on ourselves. We love it. It's going to come out really well. 1 week away from the wedding. I'll bring you back in when these are done. Ta-da! I've got all the poles done. 2 just tucked to the side, but we've got 10 in total. They are all done. We're just going to let those dry, and then probably tomorrow I will come back in and then I will black off the tops, so they'll kind of end up like that, like the sledgehammer. I'm really happy with how they've come out. Hey, do you remember I was talking about the rebars that I painted up? Here they are. I've got 3 of them ready for hanging lanterns. These have come out. I'll get pics of these, but these rebar have come out really, really well. I'm properly happy with how they've come out. So at the moment, everything is looking good for the little kind of thing I've got in mind for the outdoor ceremony on the wedding. But also these are going to look fantastic, properly set up at camp. I can't wait. So we'll finish off on another segment in a couple of days' time. Catch you in a bit. So we've got the British Army Land Rover chair outside. Now it stopped raining, and we've just taken the armrests apart. I'm actually going to do quite a sympathetic restoration on this. I might touch the paint up, just get some classic, you know, Airfix olive green paint and that on there. I'm not too sure. I might just leave it as it is. I'm only going to very lightly sand these back. These got a few splinters and that in. I've caught myself on the sides and that a couple of times, just where it's been folded up and collapsed down hundreds of times. But we'll see how we get on with it. Cheers. There you go. You can see that I've rubbed this one down just lightly. Not going to take it back too far compared against this one. Just smooth off some of those edges, get rid of some of the little splinters, just take it back a little bit, and then we'll see what we think about giving it a dollop of paint. I was going to go just for a really just the lightest brush over, but as soon as I started to apply this satin coat on, it just took, and the colour has really just sort of come out nicely. So I am just going to continue to go over both of these pieces. I've done like the top section, side, and that's about it. Just one top, one side, and just sort of keep working over it. And then obviously once this side and top and the ends are dry, then I can turn it the other way around, and then I can actually apply the underneath coat and inside edge. But it looks like it's going to come out really well. So I'm really happy with that. Really happy. Still undecided as to yet whether I'm actually going to touch up the paint on the actual framework. I don't think I actually need to. I just want the arms a nice sort of colour, and they're going to match everything else, which was the whole idea in the first place, was to just get everything to match. So yeah, I think we're just going to keep it simple with the arms and just leave the frame as it is. We'll get the other sides done, and then we're kind of almost done on these projects. All I've got to do once this is done is just do the black on these staves for the windbreak, and that's it. So not much more really. There you go, this is how the rebars have come out. Really happy with those. Really happy with that green, which kind of goes really well with some of my Furhand lanterns, and it's just going to just be like a nice addition to the canvas windbreaks as well. But yeah, these are going to look great. There you go. So the staves have come out absolutely fantastic. This is one of them. These are 5 poles. The bottoms have been blacked, which kind of go nicely with the top caps against the canvas. That's going to look lovely. There's my old British Army Land Rover chair. That's come out really nice. Hello, Cease. We've got another one there that I've already put in, all wrapped up. Happy days. There you go, finished project. Painted staves on the canvas windbreaks, the sledgehammer, the reconditioned British Army Land Rover chair, and the rebar. Happy days, happy days. There you go, there you go, we are all done. There's no good story ever starts with a pint of milk. A good story should always end with a beer. Something a bit different, bit of an update, as I said at the beginning, on why I've not really been out since the bushcraft show. The passing of Rosie, our horse, my dad being really ill. Thankfully he's on the road to recovery now, and I'm getting married. You know, that's a lot to deal with. There's a lot to deal with, so that's why I haven't been out. I am missing going to the woods, I really am, but I've actually enjoyed spending this time doing all this kit up. It's lovely to have brand new shiny gear, but we've all fallen into that trap of buying stuff and not using it, when we've got all this other amazing kit that we could upcycle, recycle, renovate and refurbish. And that's what I've done with some of these items. It's going to make a great addition when I've got these set up at the wedding. I may include that in this video. I might just do it as a quick short afterwards. But also this stuff that I've done going forwards on some of the camping trips I've got planned. I've just organised a trip with my good friend Tim, Rough Timber, and we kind of all love this sort of kit as well, retro kit, older kit. We've got similar sort of items, so I'm looking forward to sharing these with Tim, Rough Timber, on an upcoming camp. But hopefully you'll start to see me get out a little bit more in the next few months. I have missed being out, so thanks for sticking around. The content has not been great in terms of the quantity, but sometimes I only put a video out when you want to put a video out, not because you have to. That's enough from me. I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch up again soon. You take care. JJ. I love this shit.